you said this, Oprah. I know that as I start out on this next chapter, there will be some mistakes and what others perceive as failures. And what will you perceive as a failure? What will be a failure is if nobody comes and watches this network. What others will perceive as failure is if some shows don't succeed. I'm concerned about the bigger overall picture. My belief that people are basically good and want to see good in them reflected through their experiences and the shows they watch. In other words, the basic good in people, not always, cops and robbers, not always murders, not always, fighting, the champions or whatever, ultimate fighting, not always these cops shows where they're chasing down shirtless, heavily tattooed thugs. The things that show you the losers of society, the dregs of society, the things that show you the pathologies of our society. She wants to avoid that. And more power to her. This is a gamble I'm taking. I believe that the banal state of television, the kind of insipid space that we're in, that you can have as many channels as we have and not find anything that really interests you, means that to a great extent, we've lost our way. I want to read that over because because I want to read it better. But two, because I need to emphasize this, because this is exactly the way I feel. I believe that the banal state of television, the kind of insipid space that we're in, that you can have as many channels as we have and not find anything that really interests you, means that to a great extent, we've lost our way. Now think about this, folks. There's over 500 channels. I mean, you at home might have 120, you might have 250, but there's 500, maybe 1,000 channels even available. But let's say you have the 150 channel package. Can you just take your remote at any time of the day, not the time of your favorite show, but just any time of the day? Can you take your remote and land on engrossing, interesting programming? Verily, I say unto you, if you're honest, you probably cannot. And that's what Oprah's saying here. And it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs if we have all of those channels and there's nothing to watch. What is that saying, really? What is that really saying? And if Oprah is contemplating these questions, I admire her greatly. I went on Facebook talking about this. I was pretty much asking, will Oprah surround herself with the right people to realize this vision? And a lot of people took it as if I was dogging Oprah or criticizing Oprah. No. I'm criticizing her insular environment, the staff that insulates her, that keeps her from venturing out into the outside world. Quite frankly, the insulation that the insular environment that contains people that don't want to lose their job. Yes, people. I have no doubt that Oprah could do this, but the staffing is going to be what's the most important thing. That's going to be the most important thing, folks. And I'm not sure she's up to that. We're going to go more into that in a minute. I'm going to read more of this article. I'll read that sentence one more time. I believe, this is Oprah Winfrey speaking, folks, about her new channel called The OWN Network. This is WLTH and WLTH1370.com. I'm Theo the Thinker. The name of this show is Think Tank, where we take it to realms beyond. We make you think, okay? Dancing with the Stars is fine, but it doesn't make you think. It makes you mad, maybe, or it exhilarates you, or makes you wonder about the voting or something, but it doesn't make you think. Oprah wants television that makes you think. Read this one more time. I believe that the banal state of television, the kind of insipid space that we're in, that you can have as many channels as we have and not find anything that really interests you, means that to a great extent, we've lost our way. Now, there are probably some of you out there you're happy with TV. Oprah's not talking to you. Oprah's talking to the rest of us that know that TV is mindless. And as I said at the beginning of the article, she knew she'd be alone. She knew she'd be different. She knew she'd be an anomaly. So she doesn't care if she's the only person in the world that thinks this. And it's more power to her for having that kind of insight, because what really happens with the true artists, of which I include Oprah as being, the true artist doesn't really care what the audience thinks. Not in an insensitive sense, but in the sense that if you think too much about what the audience thinks, you're going to lose your art. So she just put out there, she said, TV is mindless. You may love it, but Oprah says TV is mindless. But it's a lot of us out there that feel that same way. WLTH, I'd like to also say that the views heard on Think Tank are the views of the host, the callers, and the guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, the ownership, or management of WLTH. Let me also give proper credit where it's due. This article was written by Lynn Sher. Lynn Sher for Parade Magazine of the Times and various other publications. It's a nationally syndicated publication. Now, the lady says, so Oprah says, it means to a great extent we've lost our way because of the banal television. And so the interviewer says, as a nation, have we lost our way, Oprah? No. I think that television programmers program to the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator. I happened to be on the treadmill one night and passed one of the Housewives shows. I don't know which city. And literally my mouth was open because I thought, this is on television? I recognize that there's a whole group of people who find that very entertaining. You know, these housewife shows. I wonder for how long. I think that there are people who want to be fed just a little more. And Oprah, you're right. People do want more. In all the years that you've been doing such successful television, what have you learned about people, Oprah? Everybody just wants to be heard. Toni Morrison said that what every child wants to know is, do your eyes light up when I enter the room? Did you hear me? And did what I say mean anything to you? This is what everyone wants. That's all they're looking for. That's what everybody's looking for. And the reason I think my ability to communicate with people around the world has been so rewarded is because I actually understand that. Now, I've said, and I've been saying at recent gatherings that I go to, media gatherings, that Oprah Winfrey represents the monetization of something we know in the community as mother wit. Mother wit. That innate knowledge that your grandmother had, that maybe your mother had, some auntie has. Mother wit. So we believe that Oprah is the monetization of mother wit. Indeed. Well, hello there. The monetization of mother wit. In other words, she's turned that innate ability of your grandmother and your mother and your auntie into a career, an institution, and soon a network. She has monetized Motherwit. I'm reading an article, ladies and gentlemen, from Parade Magazine. This is Theo the Thinker. The name of the show is Think Tank. And we're talking Oprah Winfrey tonight, folks. Oprah Winfrey, the most successful woman in America. The richest black woman ever, maybe the richest female ever, I mean, if you don't count Cleopatra or somebody, or Queen Elizabeth. This is Think Tank. We'll be right back.
Natural gas is one